Because more than 50 million eligible Egyptian voters could be fined for not participating in a Senate election held in August 2020. According to the law, citizens who do not take part in elections should be fined more than $30, but others condemn the law, saying it is unfair. Authorities say the law is meant to persuade citizens to participate in elections. Let's have more details of that in this report.
More than half the Egyptian population could get prosecuted for not casting their ballot in the Senate election held earlier this month. The law stipulates that citizens who do not vote should be fined up to $31.5. That means if all those who fail to vote get fined, that could translate in $1.7 billion being raised through fines by the government.
The purpose of the law is not to push for fines, but rather create incentives for citizens to participate in the elections and increase the turnout. This is legislation, and the Elections Committee has to follow the procedures which the law enforces. The implementation of the fines is very hard because it has not been done before, and the numbers involved are very high.
According to the election law, citizens have the right to appeal against the fine. They're allowed by law to skip voting if they have a valid reason, such as travel, work commitment, or if they were sick. The Egyptian prosecution will have the huge task of investigating 54 million different cases on top of its already piled up workload.
It could be an additional burden, but it's the law and it has to be done. The prosecution has to issue the fine, then it moves it to court. The prosecution has the right to push for trial or not. If it wants, the prosecution will launch a quick investigation. I don't think it can go case by case.
Since 2011, the voting fines have always been an issue after all elections, but the fines have never been imposed. Yet it's still a subject that sparks debate in the Egyptian streets.
They must know why people didn't vote. For me, the voting centers were far from my new residence. The government is the reason the voting wasn't easy for us. It is unjust to impose fines. I wish the president would stop this process. People do not have enough money to get food. They can't pay fines. That should not happen. It's not fair.
Only 9 million Egyptians voted in the Senate election to choose 200 members. The Egyptian president appoints the remaining 100 members of the upper house. It only enjoys an advisory role. Therefore, it has much less power than the House of Representatives. It has become the norm for the fines issued to erupt after every election in Egypt. But because only 14% turned out to vote for the Senate, much more Egyptians could relate to it this time.